Hi, my name is Mary Ann Yaconis, and I would like to share with you a record in my life where God's wonderful, miraculous deliverance really caused a wonderful thing to happen. When my husband and I were first married, we decided 3 years later to have some babies. Well, it wasn't working, and a year and a half later, we decided maybe we needed to seek medical help. So we did, and through a lot of different tests and testing, all that kind of stuff, the doctors said that I was sterile and I would not be able to have children because my fallopian tubes were scar tissue. So there was absolutely no way. They did offer up a series of surgeries that would work, and called a bi-mulligan hood tuboplasty, and that's where they put a plastic tube in the fallopian tube, let it heal, and then go back 6 weeks later, take it out. So we figured, why not? Let's leave no leaf unturned, so we decided we would do that, and I did. At the end of it, the doctor looked at me and kind of patted me on the hand and said, well, you have a 1% chance of getting pregnant, and if out of that 1% chance, it's 90% chance that it would be a tubal pregnancy. So I left not feeling very much encouraged, but that was what the doctor said. Well, a lot of the reality of what happened is what I'm going to tell you now. One thing is, when I was very young, and I remember 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, I always had a doll. I loved to play with my dolls. It was very important to me to have them. And I just never, ever, ever crossed my mind that I wouldn't have a child. So this was just absolutely, I couldn't even conceive of the thought that I wouldn't have a child. So also when I was a child, I remembered so many wonderful times at church and Sunday school, learning about God and how good He is and how Jesus Christ was there for me. And I had proved God throughout my childhood and teen years. When I had problems or troubles, I would go to Him and pray, and He was just always there to take care of me. And so with this terrible thing that I heard, I wasn't totally undone by it, because I knew my God could do something, that He wasn't going to leave me without children. So we went through the operations, and during that time, my mother-in-law would share the word with me. We would talk on the phone twice a week, and I was working a lot with communion. She was teaching me some things about communion, and I was looking at it, and it really was just the key of what it was I needed about giving me some more faith here of what I needed to get through this. So my church was having communion. It was about 2 weeks after I'd had the final surgery, and 2 weeks afterwards. So I received communion. And when I did, I remembered thinking about what it was that Jesus Christ accomplished for me. And the verse, Luke 22:19 and 20, it says, and when He had taken some bread and given thanks, He broke it and gave it to them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. And in the same way, He took the cup after they had eaten, saying, this cup, which is poured out for you, is the new covenant in my blood. And as I was sitting there having communion, receiving it, I was thinking about different things in the Word. I was thinking about how Christ was the Passover lamb, and how Israel put the blood of that lamb over the lintel doorpost, and how that not only delivered them from death, but it also healed them, and that they were able to go out of Egypt with no feeble knee. And I thought about Hannah and how she went to the temple and cried to the Lord, and He healed her and gave her wonderful Samuel. And then I also thought of Hezekiah with Sennacherib and his nasty letter that he sent to him, and he just absolutely did not know what to do about this. He was powerless. So what he did then was he put that before the Lord. Well, that's what I did, and it was 2 months later, I was pregnant. And it was a wonderful pregnancy. Things went really well. 4.5 years later, I was pregnant again. This is our son Matthew. He's the oldest. And then Nathan, who was 4.5 years younger than he. And so what happened was, when I was delivering Nathan, the doctor who did the original surgery wanted to show his intern the wonderful work that he did, because he was thinking he would be in the he'd be in the medical journal with this wonderful good work that he did. So he's showing this intern, and I hear just dead silence, and then he looks over the curtain there, and he looks at me, and he says, you're the one that had scar tissue for fallopian tubes, right? And I said, yes, you said so, you saw them. And then he said, well, you know what? They're perfectly healthy, normal tissue. There's no scar tissue here at all. And he kind of shrugged his shoulders, but I knew it was God. I knew that he had completely healed those tubes. So not only do we have wonderful Matthew, Nathan, and their 2 wives, but we also have our wonderful 4 grandchildren who love God, who worship him and praise him. And with every breath, I thank God for his wonderful gift of giving me these children. Thank you.